The hidden psychology behind Dale Carnegie's best advice introduction. Old school wisdom meets modern science. Dale Carnegie wasn't a scientist. He didn't conduct lab experiments or publish in academic journals. But he did something more powerful. He paid attention to people, thousands of them, and what he discovered about human behavior. It turns out, modern psychology is finally catching up. In this video, we're breaking down the real science behind Dale Carnegie's most famous advice. It's not fluff, it's not outdated, it's raw human psychology, and it still works better than 90% of the self-help hacks flooding your feed today. If you want to be more influential, more respected, and more magnetic, this is for you. 1. Make people feel important. Why ego runs everything. Let's start with one of Carnegie's most famous lines. Make the other person feel important, and do it sincerely. This isn't a nice suggestion. This is a social cheat code. Why? Because people walk around every day thinking about one thing: themselves. That's not selfish, it's human. Psychologists call this the ego principle, the need to feel significant, respected, and valued. Carnegie understood this instinctively. He knew that if you made someone feel important, they'd never forget you. Science backs it up. Brain imaging shows that praise and recognition activate the same reward systems as cash and dopamine. People are naturally drawn to those who validate their worth, not just with compliments, but with attention. So how do you apply this? Use their name. Ask for their opinion. Recognize effort, not just results. Thank them specifically, not generically. You don't need to flatter. You need to care and show it. Because when someone feels seen, they remember you. 2. Be genuinely interested in others. Trigger the reciprocity effect. Carnegie said, you can make more friends in 2 months by becoming interested in other people than in 2 years by trying to get them interested in you. And here's why this works better than charm or charisma. It triggers a deep psychological reflex called reciprocity. Reciprocity is wired into our biology. When someone listens to us, really listens, we feel an urge to give something back. Respect, kindness, even loyalty. But here's the key. It has to be genuine. Fake interest, people smell it a mile away. Want people to open up to you? Ask better questions. What are you working on that excites you right now? What's something you've learned recently that surprised you? How'd you get into that line of work? Don't interrupt. Don't hijack their answer. Just listen. Research shows that people rate conversations as more enjoyable when they do most of the talking, even if the other person said almost nothing. Why? Because we crave being understood. And most people go through their day without anyone truly listening. Be the exception. Show interest and watch trust build fast. 3. Don't criticize, condemn, or complain. Understanding psychological reactancies is the hardest rule in Carnegie's book, and it's the one people break the most. Any fool can criticize, condemn, and complain, and most fools do. It sounds like idealism, but it's actually rooted in hard psychology. Here's what happens when you criticize someone. You trigger psychological reactance, a reflexive resistance to being controlled or judged. Reactance is your brain's way of saying, don't tell me what to do, even if you're right, even if you're trying to help. The moment people feel criticized, their defenses go up and their ears shut down. Let's make it real. Ever tell someone, you need to calm down? What happened? Ever say, you always do this? Did they thank you? Of course not. They got mad. That's reactance in action. Carnegie's point isn't to avoid hard conversations. It's to approach them with empathy, not ego. Instead of saying, you're wrong, ask, what led you to that decision? Is there another way? We could look at this. This isn't weakness. It's strategy. You don't change people by calling them out. You change them by drawing them in point form. Encourage others to talk about themselves. The dopamine connection. Carnegie didn't have access to MRI machines, but he nailed one of the biggest insights in behavioral science. Encourage others to talk about themselves. Here's what neuroscience now confirms. Talking about yourself lights up the brain's reward centers, the same ones triggered by eating, winning, or falling in love. Harvard research proved it. People will literally give up money just for the chance to talk about themselves. Why? Because we live inside our own story, and sharing that story feels like relief, like connection, like joy. Here's the trick. When you let people talk, really talk, they walk away thinking you're interesting, because you gave them what no one else does, a moment to shine. So stop trying to impress people. Start creating space for them to express themselves. Ask open-ended questions. Let them run with it. And don't rush to respond. Just be present. It's not about being quiet. It's about being generous with your attention. 5. Use names. The power of personal identity. A person's name is to that person the sweetest sound in any language. It's poetic, but it's also true. Using someone's name taps into their identity, their core sense of self. This is known as the cocktail party effect. Even in a noisy room, if someone says your name, your brain locks in. Names get our attention. They signal recognition, respect, and familiarity. You don't need to overdo it. Just weave names naturally into conversation. Thanks for the feedback, Jamie. That helps a lot. Mike, what you said earlier really stuck with me. It's subtle, but it lands. Why? Because people are starving to be treated like individuals, not just data points or usernames. Your name is your identity, and using it respectfully creates instant rapport. 6. Let the other person feel the idea is theirs. The ownership effect. Carnegie's brilliance wasn't just in what he said. It was in how he helped people come to their own conclusions. Let the other person feel the idea is his or hers. This taps into a major psychological principle, the ownership effect. People value their own ideas more than yours, even if they're the same. This is why top-tier leaders, coaches, and negotiators guide people instead of telling them what to do. They ask, what solution would you suggest? If this were your call, what would you change? What do you think might work better here? When someone says it themselves, they own it. And when they own it, they defend it, protect it, and follow through. This isn't manipulation. It's collaboration. It's how trust-based influence works. Conclusion. Why Dale Carnegie was decades ahead of his time. Dale Carnegie didn't need charts and studies. He understood people by watching, listening, and experimenting in the real world. Now, nearly a century later, everything he taught is backed by hard data and brain science. Let's recap. Make people feel important, because ego drives behavior. Show real interest, and trigger the law of reciprocity. Skip the criticism, or trigger resistance you can't undo. Let others talk, and connect through shared humanity. Use names, and speak to identity. Let others own the idea, and influence without force. This isn't nice guy advice. This is practical psychology, proven in business, leadership, relationships, and everyday life. The best part, anyone can use it. No charisma required. No special training. Just a shift in mindset. Treat people like they matter, and watch your influence multiply. Call to action. If this video gave you something to think about, something you can use, hit the like button and subscribe for more real-world communication skills that actually work. And tell me in the comments which Carnegie principle has worked best for you in real life. Because one thing's for sure, Carnegie was ahead of his time, but his time is still now.